Hello again. This is a strange podcast on YouTube because we've missed the first half of our podcast, which we've already recorded. So we had some sort of technical issue. So apologies for that. All you've missed is a lot of chat about things that aren't actually FPL. So you're safe. You're fine. We were in the middle of the new quiz that I'm calling Nigella or Cucurella. Is it a chef? Is it a player? Mike and Ant were very, very excitable. Ant has yet to score. Mike is on 1 point. And Mike, the question for you is Cucurella or Nigella? I'll give you the player's name. Marius Marin.
Marius Marin. I'm going to say player. I think he's a non-league player, isn't he?
Exotic.
He also plays for Pisa, actually. But
wow.
Good effort. Anthony.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
So, ready. Sorry, carry on.
Thomas Keller. Similar surname to you, Thomas Keller.
Indeed. And because of that, I will go for player.
Yeah, player.
It could get messy.
Oh, Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah. Terrible at this game.
I am really, really, really bad at this game.
We're going to change it to first to 3. It was initially first to 4, but you're both.
We're both terrible at this game.
Well, hold on. I'm 2-0 up. I can't be that terrible.
No, we'll keep it at first to 4 then. Okay, Mike, you ready for the next one?
Oh, so ready.
Okay. Yannick Eleno.
I'm going to say that is a Nigella.
A Nigella.
Exotic.
3-0. He goes.
Oh, yes.
He knows his chefs and he knows his players.
And Yannick Eleno has 10 Michelin stars. It's very
I just tried eating a Milky Way. It's food related, so it's not a massive tangent. And I don't know if you've ever tried eating a Milky Way by taking the chocolate off first and then just eating the insides. It's nigh on impossible.
Don't say I don't know if you've ever done that. I mean, anyone who's ever eaten a Milky Way has done that.
Have they?
Of course they have.
Well, not successfully.
It's not the easiest, is it? But I think feels right.
I'm going to try freezing them for next time because it was a very sticky situation I found myself in.
Very easy task.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, there's a challenge then. Before next week, I want pictorial evidence that you have, and without a knife.
I'm not allowed. Joe Wicks says no.
Oh, Joe Wicks.
What? Joe Wicks says no knives?
Joe Wicks says no chocolate.
And there's a little challenge for you, mate. Can you get all the chocolate off a Milky Way without, I don't know, just being in a horrible sticky mess?
I'll see what I can do, mate.
3-0 for the win. Let's do this.
Anthony, you're up.
Yes.
Is this a Nigella or Cucurella? Yuri Cruz.
Ooh.
Yuri Cruz.
Nigella.
Got Nigella.
Exotic.
He's back in the game.
Yes, well done, Ant. Even
consolation.
You're so much of an underdog that even I was rooting for you.
Oh, good old Billy Big Balls. Okay. This to wrap it up then.
Michael.
Yes.
Courtney Meppen Walters.
Oh, absolutely. That is that's a Cucurella.
Cucurella for the win.
Yeah.
Exotic.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, plays for Chorley.
Yeah.
There was a lot of players in there, Phil.
Well, not just Chorley, but Chorley FC. Yeah, I'm very familiar with his work. Terrific.
Lovely. Well done, Mike. It meant absolutely nothing. Well done.
Oh, it might not have meant anything to you, and that was apparent in the way that you played, but it meant something to me, Anthony. Another victory, another little chink on my bedpost, so to speak.
Indeed. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks. I don't know why I've made a bedpost reference there. That was unnecessary.
No idea.
No, don't deal with this sort of nonsense on the pod. Smut. Boys, last week it was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? The average score was what, 42, did you say, Ant, or 43?
43.
43. Did we learn anything in last week's fixtures?
Oh, okay. Well, like I say, I'm just hanging on to the one bit of advice I've got, which is get rid of Ferran Torres, really. That's all I've got for you this week.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm grateful for that. What do you suggest we do with Spurs assets? I had Reguilon.
Oh, get rid.
Certainly defensive assets. I mean, they look absolutely shot of any confidence at the moment, don't they? They got ripped apart by Arsenal in the first half on Sunday, and just the whole body language of the players seemed completely wrong. If you look at Harry Kane, for example, I know he made noises about wanting to leave the club in the summer, and it certainly feels like that now, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like to me that he's settled into it and his mindset is with Spurs. I could be wrong.
I don't know, Ant, and I hate to go against your excellently formed opinion, but when I was watching the game on Saturday, actually, if you looked at Saka's goal, I think it was the third goal for Arsenal. He had sprinted all the way back from the opposition penalty area, and it was him that was putting the challenge in. And yeah, it was a challenge that unfortunately then ran free to Saka to score. But it's him working his backside off. So I don't know that that's a lack of commitment to the cause.
The only caveat I would say to that is that it was him who gave the ball away. So maybe there was a little bit of guilt in that run that I've given the ball away, so I better try and make up for it. I could be wrong. I don't know. That was just my view on looking at the game. But yeah, Spurs are in a bit of a hole at the moment. And I think probably their initial results masked where they are. And they look like they are a mid-table team at best.
It looks like they've had a new manager bounce, but with a bowling ball. Do you know what I mean? They had a ever so slight bounce, and now it isn't bouncing at all. Could have probably given you a better analogy, but do you know what I mean? It's just deadened.
Yeah, they look very easy to get at. What's that? 9 goals in the last 3 games? Palace, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. And Palace and Arsenal before the 2 fixtures against Spurs hadn't exactly been free flowing and scoring goals for fun. So worrying times for them.
The other thing that I learned from last week's fixtures, in fact, just going back to the Monday night game, the most recent of all the games, is that is really the superiority of Eagles in the bird world. I'm serious. I was curious really as to which is the superior of the two birds. Obviously, seagulls are quite intelligent. They've got an eye for fish and chips for sure, in the way that an eagle might not. Eagles can fly up to 33,000 feet.
Wow,
which is pretty incredible. Only really above the eagle is the stork, which can fly up to 37,000 feet.
And the plane.
And the plane, but that's not, strictly speaking, that's not. Oh, actually, it might be a crane rather than a stork. I get the two confused.
Well, you can give information, Mike, but if you can't, confidently.
What I'm definitely saying is that eagles can fly much, much higher than seagulls, and based on that, I think they'll finish higher than Brighton this week. I've done a bit when it comes to the fixtures. I've done a bit of research based on that around some of the nicknames and who I think will win based on their nicknames and what we can read into that.
Okay,
so the Eagles against the Foxes is going to blow your mind. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I mean, you base the intelligence of seagulls on the fact that they like fish and chips.
Well, by that token, I'm an incredibly intelligent person. Such is my love for fish and chips. But no, I think they are quite intelligent, aren't they?
Seagulls?
Yeah,
they're massive.
Yeah, they're basically rats with wings, and rats are quite intelligent.
How have we got to this stage from talking about flowers to rats with wings? Incredible times.
At least my facts about Mussolini liking milk, they're true. You've got
this is true.
You're basic. Seagulls because they like fish and chips. It's not necessarily a true statement.
Right. I'm just you guys talk amongst yourselves about actual FPL, and I'll tell you how intelligent are seagulls.
And let's talk about Arsenal.
Yes, let's.
So 3 wins in a row, 2 unconvincing 1-0s, and then this 3-1.
You wait till I get You wait, boys, till I get to guns against seagulls. It's a fairly predictable ending.
Okay. Yes, Phil. Sorry, Arsenal.
So you, like me, may have had Ben White at the start.
No, I had Kieran Tierney, and I think he lasted a week.
Okay.
I shipped him out immediately after I saw the Brentford game.
Because Arsenal, I mean, we've dissed them, so it's only fair to, give them a bit of credit when credit's due.
Absolutely.
They've got some incredibly cheap assets.
Yeah, and they've got some good fixtures, haven't they? I mean, we talked about the fixtures even when they're in their sticky patch, because we've seen the fixtures and thought, well, if you, like you say, Ben White, 4.4 million. I mean, he's now coming to his own. He's doing really well. I mean, if you look at the Arsenal's fixtures in terms of the fixture difficulty rating, they've got nothing higher than 3 until Liverpool away on the 20th of November, Brighton away, Palace home, Villa home, Leicester away, and Watford at home until they go to Anfield. So it feels like the tide's turned a little bit there. It was quite interesting, I thought, seeing Arteta and how happy he was, and I've never seen him celebrate quite like that. I think that was a big win for Arsenal, and I think it was the way they did it as well. And I think Aubameyang showed that actually when he's on it, how good he can be. I mean, that second Arsenal goal was a brilliant team move. Saka looks like the player he was for England a little bit in the Euros. So maybe there is a little bit of an upturn in fortune with them.
You look
and
at
maybe we should be jumping on their assets.
I mean, you've got Ben White, who started at 4.5, has gone down to 4.4. He's starting in their defence. Ramsdale, who Mike got on early, 4.5 million still, only owned by 2.3% of all players.
I got Ben White when he dropped to 4.3. Just saying.
Oh, really? He went down that low?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Ramsdale, he could be your keeper for the whole season, and you could just leave him in there. It looks like he's going to be playing, doesn't he? Sanchez is 4.5 as well, who me and you have both got Ant.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going. If I had a wild card, I might switch to Ramsdale, but I don't feel like it's a good use for transfer going from one 4.5 to another. Smith Rowe is 5.3 million and plays quite high up. Tomiyasu in defence, 4.5 million.
Yep, only 2% ownership of him as well. So nice little differential if you're looking for one there. Yeah, there's some assets that I think we probably need to start looking at in general with Arsenal.
I can see that they could well be appearing in quite a lot of teams soon. The template is breaking up as people are trying to chase, like me, I suppose, and trying to pick players that other people haven't got. The only my daughter is still beating me despite owning John Stones, who's been injured all season.
Wow. So not only behind Mike with all his hits, so that is also wow. Okay, it hasn't been the best start, but as we know, mate, you do like to peak about March.
Honestly, it's staggering how well she's doing, considering all her team's ridiculous. And each week she says, "Oh, Daddy, do you want to help me with my team?" And I'll offer some advice. She gets angry and then doesn't do it. So she's still beating me by 23 points.
She's surprisingly intelligent, like seagulls, who are known to be very smart and clever. According to onekindplanet.org, people often see gulls standing in a field, stomping their feet in order to bring the worms to the surface. That takes both intelligence and the ability to communicate. So,
okay. Well, the ability to communicate, I mean, that's a lot of animals.
Valid.
And you spoke about Jamie Vardy last week.
I did.
Let's talk Leicester. They're not doing great. They've 2-2 against Burnley. They lost to Brighton, lost to Man City. They beat Norwich. Didn't they lose heavily to West Ham? Yeah,
they've just had a bit of a average start, haven't they? Leicester. There was talk of them being the one to kind of challenge for the top four. It's not really happened so far, has it, boys?
But Vardy's on 40 points.
Yeah, Vardy's had 6 goal involvements in the last 6 games. So, he continues to buck the trend in terms of Leicester.
Didn't you start with Vardy, Ant?
I did, yeah. First couple of weeks, then took him out. I kind of had that feeling with Burnley that I took him out when I got Ronaldo in, basically, but I kind of had a feeling that Burnley would be the game for him. And it was, bar the own goal. Another one, boys, I think that I've seen kind of flagged up recently is Yuri Tillemann. Got assists in his last 2 games. He's created plenty of chances as well for his teammates in terms of the bonus point system that I've seen. and only 4.4% ownership, 6.4. So possibly pricier side of midfield, but he's certainly possibly one to look at. He's actually the second highest point scorer. I mean, if you're talking about Vardier, he's on 40 points. Tillemann is next in terms of Leicester assets.
He's actually
26.
In the last 3 game weeks, he's actually created more chances than anybody else in the game.
There you go. Yeah, and they've got Palace away, United home, Brentford away, Arsenal home, and Leeds away. A really struggling Leeds as well. So there's some assets out there as well.
Look, boys, should we? Oh, sorry, go on, Phil.
Sorry, you would have thought they'd hit form as well soon, surely. They can't keep playing like they have been.
Yeah, but they are still relying on Jamie Vardy for me.
They've got a great squad. They've got a great squad. That I agree. It must come good. Hey, look, should we officially work our way through the fixtures, lads?
We can. Can I just say one thing?
Please do.
I was very happy for this man at the weekend. Fantasy football aside, I was very happy.
Oh yeah, lovely. Well done. And he does genuinely Raoul keep him in the A. He does actually talk like that. No, he doesn't talk like that. Martin Tyler does actually call him that. And I think it was somebody else commentating on Sunday who did the same.
Yeah, they did, and it was just so he was obviously so many emotions must have gone through his body when he scored that goal. So yeah,
what a goal it was as well, boys. By the way, brilliant finish.
Yeah.
Okay, boys, let's go through these fixtures then. Let's get planned.
Okay. So first up then is Saturday 12:30, Man United with another lunchtime kickoff, hot off the back of a midweek fixture against Villarreal. So you just wonder whether rotation comes into play this weekend. But they host Everton, who the weekend got continued their good form with a win at home to Norwich. Are we just looking at United sets in this?
I'll tell you what we are looking to not do, and that's make Ronaldo captain again, are we? We learned our mistake from last week.
He's had one, literally one bad game in terms of returns on FPL. One game, and people are already sort of looking at dropping.
Well, for me, it's not so much that; it's the early game. It's the first game, and as Phil knows, never captain somebody in the first game.
But would you be looking at moving him out and freeing up some funds? If you've got Salah, Ronaldo, Lukaku, which I know a lot of people have, myself included, is he the one of those three, given the fixtures that are upcoming, that you'd be saying, okay, you know what, if I'm going to boost some of those differentials, some of those enablers into something half decent, Ronaldo's the one where I free up some funds?
I think, like you say, you've said, haven't you, before, Mike, Chelsea Tactic, now is the time. You can't go to Lukaku.
No.
Salah is the man. You know, one thing I think we potentially have learned is that if in doubt, you should captain Salah again. He's just in the points all the time. Never really seems to have a quiet week, certainly not this season anyway. So out of the three, maybe you would. United, they're kind of, to me, last few games feel like they're slipping back a little bit, don't they, to that United that they had initially under Solskjaer that were very kind of bitty, weren't they? And when they had bad games, they had really bad games. And I know they changed their 11 for the West Ham defeat in the Cup last week, but they kind of carried that on, didn't they, the weekend? They looked very poor. So, and if they don't score, again, if it's 0-0 at half time in this one, the alarm bells might be ringing a little bit.
I've got a theory on this because I've got the three. I've got Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Salah, and I was ready to be quite impulsive last week and get rid of Ronaldo to spice up my team, because I was frustrated that he blanked in one game. But you can get a decent-looking team if you commit to just having a slightly weaker midfield and a stronger defence. So I bought in Josh King for Bamford. Josh King won't have to play every game for me, but it'll be between him and Livramento probably who gets the 11th place in my team. But by doing that, I've freed up funds. And now from having a real scrappy baseline defence, I've got Trent, Rudiger, Alonso, and
Alonso.
But I've still got Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Salah. But my back line is so much stronger. I'm much better having Rudiger and Alonso in the back than who'd say who's a midfielder who's about 7 million? What, Torres, who might not play?
Yeah. Yeah, I would again. I'd just flag up that Trent may well not play this weekend. So,
Well, that's great. I've already made my transfers, and to be
Mm.
honest, that's why you got a bench, isn't it?
yeah, this is very true. All right, Burnley against Norwich. Chris Wood, I would give mention to here. He's been, I think he's had 4 shots on target in the last 2 games against the Norwich team that are pretty leaky. I just fancy Burnley to overpower them. This feels like the perfect game for Burnley.
The only thing I would say about Chris Wood is he's only actually returned in 1 game week. With the 9 points he got in the home game against Leeds. Other than that, it's 2 points all the way. And I think this is probably an illustration of how poor Burnley have been this season, that he is their highest point scorer with 19, and yet he's only returned in the 1 game week. But poor old Norwich.
Okay, so what you've just said there, Ant, sort of backs up what I'm saying, because if you look at Leeds, they're just a slightly better version of Norwich at the moment. Very open.
Yeah, that's true.
They're trying for the will score more goals than you. They're trying to play out from the back, and actually that's where Chris Wood has had his most success against the team like that. And now he just plays the light version of Leeds in terms of Norwich. So I just really think if sometimes we just look at teams and how they're performing, but actually tactically, this is a game ready-made for Chris Wood, I think.
If you're having a pineapple on it and you're taking a 1 week punt and you're just looking to bring someone in for 1 week, especially if you're planning on wildcarding during the international break, which I think a lot of people are who are more patient than us three. Then Chris Wood's not a bad shout. But and he did me well at the end of last season, but it's just not exciting watching Burnley games.
No. Okay. Chelsea Southampton then. We've talked a lot about Chelsea already, but I see that Mason Mount is a doubt for the European game this week. So he was one of the players I was kind of contemplating bringing in at this stage, but they've got a few injury worries. Southampton have just suddenly gone, well, maybe not suddenly gone. They are shot shy. We knew that Danny Ings leaving might cause a problem. We thought opening day, Adam Armstrong scores that goal at Everton, and we're thinking, okay, he's going to step up and replicate the form he's had in the Championship. It's not really worked out that way for him, has it? Or are we being harsh?
Well, the only thing I would say about Southampton is in the last away game, they did a pretty good job of keeping Man City quiet. Yes, they are very shot shy. They were probably a little bit unlucky. They look like the better chances against Wolves, but they couldn't stick the ball in the net. But I don't know. I think I could see Chelsea being too good for them. I don't think they would do what Man City did. I think they'd overpower them, and I think they'll win it comfortably. But is there a doubt in the back of your minds, boys, that they could do what they did at Man City?
Yeah, it's a slight worry for me. And as is, we haven't seen too much rotation with Lukaku. He can't play every game. He's got Champions League games. He's, you got to kind of wonder when Tuchel is going to want to rest him. He's going to have to have a rest at some point. And Southampton strikes me as a team to play with pace, like Werner. Because Southampton play a high line, as we've discussed previously.
Yeah.
But captaining Lukaku, which would be my plan if I was choosing someone, that'd be my only worry. Are you nervous about that?
No, I think he's fixture proof. I think you said that last week. I think he's fixture proof. You're right. Werner could step in and do a very good job against Southampton. I think actually I flagged him up last year against Saints, and he performed very well against them. It was one of the few games that he did last year. But I think Lukaku plays, and I think he scores at least one. Yeah. Leeds against Watford, lads. 2 teams that I can't quite figure out. I'm disappointed with Leeds so far.
Yeah, same. And
weird.
People have got on Sarr. I don't particularly like Watford, so I can't bring in Sarr. I've got Josh King, but he used to play for Bournemouth, so that's the only thing that's getting him in my team. I know a lot.
Are you saying that you don't like Sarr because he plays for Watford, so you're not putting him? So that's a personal thing. It's not a
yes.
In the same way that I don't like having Southampton assets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't particularly like Watford. They're a yo-yo team. They annoy me. So I don't like getting their players in. But yeah, saying that, I have got Josh King. But Sarr has been a brilliant signing for a lot of people. He's their focal point, isn't he? So he's going to be in and around anything that's happening for Watford.
Leeds haven't kept a clean sheet either this season, boys. So I can't see that changing this weekend.
No, it's funny, isn't it? We all, well, an awful lot of us started prevailing in defence at 4.5. I think it might be time to ship him out and swap him for maybe a Ben White or a Livramento if you haven't done already.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
strange, because I can see Josh King scoring a couple of goals this weekend, and and that's what fantasy football does. You can kind of envisage, you can think, oh yeah, this person's playing here. You can envisage your players doing something a bit like if and when I was younger, buying a lottery ticket, you can already think, oh yeah, you know what? When I win it, this is what I'm going to get. You can just imagine what you're going to get, and then you don't win, and Josh King doesn't score. It's very frustrating, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sorry, tangent.
No. Next game.
Yeah, I think Dennis is still cheaper than Josh King, isn't he? And he's still playing.
He is, but he's playing on the wing, whereas King, to me, seems to be playing more centrally.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I would definitely have King over Dennis, albeit for that little bit more money. One player that's disappointed me so far in Alicia is Dan James. I had high hopes for him. Rather than being
high hopes. Sorry.
Well, that was lovely.
There you go.
Rather that was a really lovely role reversal. Rather than being a bit of a player at United, I thought that running the team at Leeds and he might come good, but actually he's looked pretty poor in what I've seen for Leeds. So I thought the 6 million was going to be a bargain, but maybe not so much.
Rafinha is still producing the goods, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
and Rodrigo again, very much involved. Another player who is probably a better player than he's an FBL asset, but very much involved in their goal at the weekend as well. Rodrigo, so he was the assist to the assist, as he's been a couple of times already this year. The next 3 o'clock kickoff and the last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs we're going to talk about is the first where I've done a little bit of research. What happens if a magpie fights a wolf? Wolves host Newcastle. I can tell you guys that there have been quite a few occasions where magpies have eaten wolves. So
Newcastle to win them.
Newcastle to win.
Eat wolves?
Yes, they're actually a very vicious bird.
But they like shiny things.
Well, shiny things and eating eyes out of wolves. That's an actual thing. They will actually peck the eyes out first.
Oh gosh!
So and a metaphor perhaps for what Saint Maximan is going to do to Connor Cody.
Bringing it back.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and an assist for Saint Maximan. We all talked about how much we liked him, but actually as an asset, he got an assist at the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're looking at changing up Ronaldo and freeing up some money, you've got the Ivan Tonys of this world. You've got the Saint Maximans in the same sort of price bracket. Let's not rule him out. That's all I'm saying. Trincao, if you followed any advice that I gave you about Trincao, get him out and get him out quick, because he's having his eyes pecked out by the manager. He didn't even start at the weekend. Disappointing.
Just on
birds and what happened? You found a dead bird on your trampoline yesterday?
Yeah, it's quite strange. We just had dinner, and my son looked outside and said there's a dead pigeon on the trampoline. And I thought he was lying, but no, there was a dead trampoline. A dead pigeon on the trampoline. Yeah, he killed the trampoline while he was there.
Maybe he just died of exhaustion, just bouncing up and down too much.
Maybe.
How good are birds at trampolining? You should know this.
Seagulls are especially good at it, and worms appear out of nowhere when they're on trampolines because it sounds like the rain.
Mike, and you should trust Mike on animal knowledge, because I was with Mike on Saturday and he told me that he once castrated a pig with a plastic band.
That's a true story. That is a true story.
Can you tell us this story, please?
Well, it's not much of a story to tell. Phil's just told it for you. I once castrated a pig with an elastic band. That was
why?
Doing a little bit of farmhand work of the summer. As a teenager, local farmer invited me to go and work for him. He held the pig down. I popped the rubber band on, and eventually, what happens is loses all blood circulation to said area, and the old love spuds dropped off. So
Was it this that haunted you for life, and this is why you do not like animals now?
no, well, no, I don't think animals like me. If anyone's going to come out of that, if anyone's going to come out of that feeling a little bit fed up, I'd imagine it's the pigs with me, really. But
the lesson here is if Mike approaches you with an elastic band,
Yeah.
Run.
back off.
Yeah,
Run away.
absolutely. Let's move to my next game, which
Yes,
is
let's.
Brighton Arsenal 5:30 kickoff. I did a little bit of research, lads. Very rarely do seagulls beat guns, but I did. The punishment for shooting a seagull with a gun is a fine of up to £500 or 11 months in jail. I don't know why they stopped short of the 12. But an air gun will not kill a seagull. A shotgun, however, does work well.
This has gone wrong this week. Brighton got a last-minute equaliser yesterday, and then
Magpie.
it all went mad, didn't it? All went mad. Magpie, again, another one like Vardy, gone under the radar, hasn't he?
Well, boys, he's in my team. I talked about my 2 transfers.
Hello.
Dennis
Really?
out, Magpie in. 2.9% ownership, boys. And the last 2 game weeks, 16 points, 2 goals. Thank you very much. He's actually scored goals in 4 of his 6 game weeks. So, but the only thing that nearly stopped me doing it is they are now playing in Arsenal in a bit of form, but they are at home Brighton, and they are still in form. So yeah, I've gone for it, and I felt like a little bit like I didn't have anything to lose because Dennis is, he's not there for the long haul, is he? Let's face it.
So, but that's a bit of a price increase from Dennis. So, how did you fund that?
Well, Mr. Luke Shaw, injured and probably not in form, out, and a guy I've never heard of from Aston Villa who got 15 points the weekend in.
Courtney Horse?
Him. Yeah. His first 90 minutes got 15 points. I'll have a bit of that. 4.4 million. In you go, sunshine. Playing a Spurs team who look absolutely hopeless. Off we go. Lovely old job.
Have you heard Courtney Horse talk?
Go on.
He talks a bit like this.
Cheers, Sean Dyche. Oh, wow. Oh, dear.
It could get messy.
Oh, dear. Yeah, so there you go, boys. Yeah, Magpie and Horse in. So there you go.
Magpie, I'm all for. I'm not sure Horse is going to. I mean, it's not pronounced Horse.
It is now.
It is now.
It could get messy.
Yes,
It could indeed. I put my horse on the fact that he'll score.
I'm not sure he's going to start every game, is he? Surely they just put him in because they wanted to play 3 at the back against United.
Quite possibly, but he scored 15 points. So how can
Hold
you
on.
drop a man who does that?
All right, settle down because we've jumped a game here, lads. We've jumped a game. I know we talked about Brighton and Arsenal a little bit, and we talked about Arsenal earlier on in the pod, but let's not miss the Eagles and the Foxes.
Yeah,
Indeed.
don't panic. But Brighton obviously doing tremendously well, and Magpie's got Norwich after the international break as well.
Exactly.
Seemingly can't be bothered to play in the Premier League, and so that could be a really good idea, Magpie, especially if you're wildcarding after that game, maybe.
Me?
Yeah. Well,
No,
you're
I'm
not. Somebody
might. Yeah.
Will be wildcarding.
As I say, I had with Dennis. Yes, okay, he scored against Norwich, but everyone scores against Norwich. And other than that, like Mike pointed out, he's actually playing on the wing. Josh King seems to be the man that Watford are going to try and rely on for goals this season, along with Sarr. So I felt I had nothing to lose here by getting Magpie in, especially while he's still got low ownership.
Okay.
Let's talk about Crystal Palace Leicester then, lads. I'll just start by saying that obviously Eagles 33,000 feet, flying Foxes not anywhere near as high, and also Golden Eagles have been known to attack large mammals, deer of all ages, and have been observed attacking and killing them. So, with that in mind, I'm going for a Crystal Palace win.
Yeah, I mean, old Vieira, he's not done a bad job, has he? I was expecting him to be De Boer Mark II.
Slow start, but it is starting to kind of click, isn't it, a little bit for Palace now?
Yeah, I saw they played Odson Edouard from the start, and I was hopeful for him that he might add to the goals he got earlier, the game previous, but that didn't happen. He was hauled off after about 60 minutes. Maybe that's just a fitness thing. Benteke came on for him, and of course Benteke probably more helpful on defending set pieces when they were a goal to the good. But yeah, I don't know. I look at that Palace team and I'm not sure there are many players that I'd be looking at bringing in.
I would say they're definitely outperforming, their ability.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zaha at 6.9, he turns up when he wants to, doesn't he? But he's always dangerous. He's currently got 2 goals and 1 assist in the 6 games so far. But he seems to be fired up a lot more. He seems to be more aggressive than I've seen him for a long time. But Palace, the only 2 assets I would consider are Gallagher, 5.7, and you've got Gallagher, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Just because I think he looks like a good player and he's a fun player to watch because his movement's excellent. And Gaeta, who is 4.5, will get you plenty of save points. I think he's made 19 saves so far this season.
Yeah, well, on Gallagher, he's got 32 points already this season in the first 6 game weeks, so he's had a really good start.
Yeah, and he's grown his hair out, and as we all know, that's only ever going to help his ability on the pitch. Leicester, like we said, they're underperforming, but Vardy's still getting the points. From a fantasy football perspective, don't go near their defence because they are incredibly leaky. Mike, you had Schmeichel at the start, didn't you?
Schmeichel and Bertrand.
Yeah. Bertrand, yeah, he did, yeah. But Leicester, I think when Leicester get a win, I would happily suggest lumping on them.
Yeah.
Because they've got fairly decent fixtures coming up. Palace, Man United, been the tough one. Brentford, Arsenal, Leeds, the next 5.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So, and Barnes, if he scores 1, I think he'll kick on.
Yeah, he needs that, doesn't he? Though he's had a slow start.
He's a confidence player. He's 6.8 at the moment. Madison's obviously dropped away. He's long gone.
Forgotten man, isn't he?
Yeah, they started Lookman, who's 6 million on the game. They started him on Saturday.
Yeah, he's still a decent prospect. He burst onto the scene, didn't he, a few years ago? But yeah, he's one who you probably want to keep an eye on.
0.1% ownership.
Spurs, Aston Villa. This is one I went down a bit of a rabbit hole with, lads. I looked at the biggest ever villain, which was Hannibal Lecter. The only information I could get on Hannibal Lecter was that he cut his own hand off to escape being imprisoned, held down by metal. That was the closest link I could make to a spur, which is also made out of metal. But on that basis, I'm going for a Villa win.
Cockerels, aren't they? Spurs have got cockerels on there.
Yeah, but Aston Villa have got lions.
Yeah, I suppose it, yeah.
You know, it all ends up, it's pointing to a Villa win, I would say.
Yeah, okay. And Villa, like we discussed, Courtney Horse, Anthony, you've got in on
Courtney Horse!
I've jumped on the bandwagon while literally nobody else has.
Yeah, you've made a bandwagon and you're looking around for anyone who wants a ride.
0.4% ownership. Come join me.
But the 2.7% ownership, Matty Cash.
Yeah.
He's
looked decent.
To look like Jack Grealish. He's scored a goal already this season. He's got a couple of bookings, but he's doing really well.
Another player who had in my team at the start of the season.
You can't mention that because you've had everybody.
I have had everybody. Yeah, still above you. But yeah, I have had everybody. You're quite right. But yeah, really, really good going forward on the right hand side. Has an eye for goal. Yeah, I like him. I would say with Villa, the fixtures have got to be right to be having cash in, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay. The one tip I would have with Villa, if like me, you've got as many premium assets as possible in, and then you need a 4.5 million midfielder, Douglas Luiz has got 2 assists in his last 2 games. He's playing most of the matches, 88 minutes, 90 minutes, 79 minutes, and then 2 more 90 minutes. So he's playing most of the game. 4.5 million. It's what you can expect points-wise from a 4.5 million player is usually minimal. So for someone to be getting assists, and he's pushing on a bit more this season, I'm seeing in games that I've watched with Aston Villa, he's higher up the pitch. I would consider, if you've got like Basuma who's injured at the moment, like me, then Douglas Luiz would be a great straight swap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yep,
agreed. A hammer against a B, lads. This is the last one I looked at, and it won't surprise you to know that the hammer wins.
Well, that is a surprise.
Yeah.
Please
hammer.
don't bees, because they are doing wonders for our wildlife. Without bees, we'd all be
as
dead.
our daddy longlegs, they do a very similar job, but don't get the same good press. I would say, I've bought Ben Rama in, lads. I know I'm about 3 weeks late on this, but I've put him in as an enabler actually. Swapped Torres out for him because actually West Ham's fixtures are fairly kind over the next few weeks. So, West Ham have got, he says on the fly, they've obviously got Brentford, then they've got Everton, then they've got, I'll just give you the three because otherwise we'll be here all night. Then they've got Spurs at home. So that's not so bad, is it? So I've brought Ben Rama in. Nice to see Souček in amongst the goals this weekend.
Brentford have got West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester, then Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle, Everton. If you've got a bit more money for a third striker, Tony is really hitting form now. He's really starting to feel more comfortable in the Premier League. I think maybe first couple of games he was just a bit nervous about the big stage, but he's owned by a lot of teams, I imagine dead teams who had him from the start, but then his price went down. It's actually dropped from 6.5 now to 6.3. And Ivan Toney, he's got 12 points against Wolves, 5 points against Liverpool, and those fixtures aren't terrifying. The Chelsea game's not ideal, but apart from that, he hasn't got a bad fixture until mid-December when they play Man United.
Yeah, they've been a breath of fresh air, haven't they, Brentford? They've had a great start, and that game of the weekend was brilliant. So, yeah, like you say, Tony is coming into a bit of form now.
I've got Pookie for the next three, and then I switched to Tony because I just think that the next few games for Brentford aren't so great, and then they have that run of 4 games that you mentioned just then that are really strong. Whereas Norwich play Burnley, they play Brighton. In fact, it's the next 2 games, Burnley and Brighton, and then I swap across to Tony after that.
The thing with Brentford, I think Ant mentioned that Burnley have got their highest point scorer, Wood, who's got 19 points.
That's correct.
Brentford have got 8 players on 22 points or more.
Their
goals are coming from all over the pitch, so you could easily take a punt on one of their midfielders, and he could do well for you. So, or their defenders, their defenders are doing really well.
I love both their fullbacks, Pinnock and Henry.
Yeah.
Really like both of them.
Pinnock, by the way, he was playing for Forest Green Rovers only 4 years ago. There you go.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Match of the day. Sorry, mate. Liverpool against Man City. That's the blockbuster to finish then on Sunday afternoon.
It's
both
nice.
Both knackered from their European exploits at Anfield. How do we see this one going? I was surprised to see Man City take all 3 points against Chelsea last weekend.
0-0. I think it's going to be a tight, cagey game, this one. There wasn't many chances, was there, the weekend? It feels like this could be another game like that. Man City, Jesus, is he somebody you might want to look at?
It's interesting.
Yeah. When he's played, he's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's made that position his own, really. He's actually played more than I thought he would. And he's dropped down in price because people don't really see him as an asset. But he's 8.6 million now, and he's played in every game, and he's started the last 5.
Didn't play tonight in Europe, so whether you view that as a resting or just he's in line in terms of rotation to come back in again at the weekend. They played Sterling through the middle tonight in defeat at PSG. So I would fancy him to start. Salah's got a great record against Man City. I'd be wary of maybe captaining him against what is a fairly decent defense, but his record is, if people are worried about, whether they swap out Ronaldo, Lukaku, or Salah, I'd leave Salah in there for this game. I think there's every chance he'll haul. But
the joy of captaining Salah is that he's in the last game of the game week, so you've got hope the whole way through.
Yeah. Who comes in for Trent if he's not playing?
I imagine they will play the lad who can play at centre back as well. Oh, whose name escapes me, which doesn't help people right now. I'll get you his name. Can you talk briefly about City? They have got a lot of De Bruyne's back, isn't he?
Yeah. He did play 85 minutes, I think, at the weekend.
Yeah, and no one's got De Bruyne that in any of the mini leagues that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So I would Joe Gomez, thank you. I think would play right back, or I'll just stick with Joe Gomez.
Oh, that's a lovely Gomez against Sterling, which is we've seen a bit of history there between the two of them.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, but if you are moving off Ronaldo, you can save a bit of money, and then you might be able to afford De Bruyne in midfield.
Yeah,
would you be looking at that as an outlandish punt if you're playing catch up?
It's an outlandish punt, and I wonder, is it just too soon in the season? I mean, even somebody that's playing as poorly as you, I feel.
Thank you.
Surely it's still early days for kind of desperate measures like that. With game weeks in.
But it's not outlandish. He's Kevin De Bruyne. He's been one of the highest scoring players on the game for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I guess.
You've also, it's how much you want to get burned by pet roulette. I mean, you've got Mahrez.
That's woken everyone up.
Thank you. He's not started since the first game week of the season, which is staggering. Is he getting saved for Europe? Him and Sterling, actually.
Mahrez did start tonight. So it was himself, Sterling, and Grealish. With Mahrez on the right, Grealish on the left. So I don't know.
It's weird that he started Grealish in every game.
Yeah, that is quite amazing, isn't it?
Did tell you boys, did say this would happen.
You did, but now you've got rid of Grealish.
Yeah, I've got rid of him, but I just still correct.
After the City game, Saturday our City, after the Liverpool game, their fixtures open up. They got some really good fixtures coming up. Cancelo has been playing. Well, he's played every minute of every game so far.
Yeah,
I didn't bring him in because I didn't want to play pep roulette, but he has played like your man Grealish. He's played every minute of every game. He's flying at the moment. He's 6.1. I think his price has gone up now, but he's got 44 points in 6 games. And he's got 2 points, and he got 6, 6, 12, 6, 12.
Yeah, and look, you pointed out, if not earlier in this pod, certainly last week, you looked at some of the midfielders that you could spend 6 million on.
Yeah.
And some of the defenders, and Man City, there's always a chance I'll keep you a clean sheet, but Cancelo is a proven asset. And at that price, you're going to get value for money. It's a lot for a defender, but it's not a lot for a player.
Imagine that for the past 3 weeks, I've had Traore and I could have had Cancelo.
Yeah, so that's quite a sobering thought, isn't it?
So at what point do I just play 5 at the back? It's getting more and more tempting.
Yeah, it is. 5 sooner rather than later, judging by that, mate.
Well, you're just trying to tempt me into more transfers, but
yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, that completes our roundup of the fixtures, then, gents. So,
I would just just before we close that off, Phil, I'm just a little bit of advice for you as someone who's absolutely bossing this game.
If I want advice, I'll go to my wife, who's beating all of us.
Okay. I would suggest that maybe you look at Trent out, Cancelo in, frees up even more money, and that run of fixtures, as you say, is quite solid. And Trent's an injury doubt.
He's an injury doubt. However, Trent for me is just undroppable. I mean, he's had he was injured against Palace and he got 1 point against Brentford, but before that, like Cancelo, he got 12-4, 12-6. They're big scores he's posting for a defender.
Yep.
I think and to be honest, I'd much rather get rid of Traore. I've got enough money in the bank to get Traore and swap him for Douglas Luiz, and then get rid of Livramento or even Omar Bamadeli and swap him out for for your man Cancelo. I mean, it seems like
I politely earlier on said to you, yes, about Douglas Luiz. I think because at the time I was looking at as to whether a fox could genuinely be eaten by an eagle, but I think that's an atrocious pick, Douglas Luiz.
I mean, he wouldn't be in my starting 11. He'd be on my bench.
All right.
But instead of Traore effectively in my starting 11, I would then have Cancelo.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And it's the satisfaction I'm going to have when I transfer out Traore next week.
Hmm.
And then he comes in.
I don't care. I simply don't care anymore with that man.
Okay.
Boys, let's talk punts.
Let's.
Oh, look, I went first last week, so and why don't you go first this week? We're looking for a player of 2% ownership or less, who, if one of us gets a really good return and the other two don't, will mean that they'll be safe from having their captain picked next week by a listener. Who are you going to go for?
Man who looked back to his best at the weekend, scored. He's got Brighton away. Aubameyang, 2% ownership exactly.
Still at 2%.
Still at 2%. He did well for FPL buddies. I'm hoping for the same.
That's just based on price, though, isn't it? That he's 2% because he's
Purely
so much money.
He's still 9.9. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Phil.
So I'm torn between.
Who lovers?
Nope. Chris Wood.
That would explain the 2 bunches of flowers behind you.
Well, exactly. It's all making sense now.
I'm going to go Chris Wood. It'll add a.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tinge of excitement. You can have Rodrigo.
Oh, that's exactly who I'm going to go for, Rodrigo. But I will take the moral high ground by the fact that I've even talked about kind of tactics and playing styles and stuff when I talked about Chris Wood earlier on. So I'll happily take Rodrigo. But
isn't Chris Wood playing Norwich?
Yeah. Do you not remember I talked to them about being Leeds light? Remember that?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it seems like a decade ago, but yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris Wood, Rodrigo, and Aubameyang. Nice. Okay, gents. Cool. Well, thank you very much. And next week, like I say, we're doing our mega pod team by team. What have we learned so far about them? Players to watch out for.
As if this doesn't feel like megapod enough. Thank God love everyone and each and every one of you that have survived the duration of this.
Oh, the editing in this.
Did I mention that the inventor of the lie detector also invented Wonder Woman?
You did, and this is exactly why the pod's gone on so long.
Okay, fine.
Gents, have a great week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you to Beth for doing us a review on Apple. We're up to 6 reviews.
Oh, Beth, thank you.
Look at that.
Absolute star. Absolute star. Thank you. And good night. Take care, guys. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye now.
Arrivederci.